Geely, who owns a handful of auto brands including Volvo and Polestar, has developed an extremely long-life battery technology that has class-leading energy density and charges quite fast as well. Stick around as I discuss what we know so far about this exciting.
To put it another way, we want to give them superpowers so that they have significantly more functionality than a regular human, not just that their brains are functioning normally again. That is a huge deal. Could you define Neuralink and describe its purpose? To control your thoughts, we implanted a chip in your brain. Yes, all right, worries not allayed, there you have it. Who wants one now? Leap right in, step right up. Because every gadget that is implanted in a human must pass numerous tests, Neuralink will be visible from a great distance. It goes at a very slow pace. After doing a small number of people at a time, you go to great measures to demonstrate safety. The FDA approvals must be followed. We have no intention of circumventing any regulatory permits. We're following all the rules and, in fact, going above and above what the FDA has mandated in terms of safety. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're exploring some quite futuristic topics today. Neuralink's most recent developments are being tested on humans. You read correctly. We are discussing Elon Musk, brain chips, and what may be the beginning of a new age in human-computer interaction. Hold on tight as we examine how these innovative technologies are not only altering lives, but also have the potential to change how we interact with the world in the future. But first, be sure to subscribe to Tesla Stock News and like this video to show your support. First, let's hear a major update from Elon Musk. In only 2 weeks, Neuralink's eagerly awaited second human study was supposed to start. But this is where things go wrong. One of the patients scheduled for the experiment has chosen to withdraw, which has caused a minor delay in the countdown. Now, this is more than a small setback. It brings up a few significant issues. First of all, why would anyone choose to withdraw from such a groundbreaking trial, particularly at the last minute? There could be a variety of reasons, but it's possible that the reality of participating in such a risky experiment began to weigh heavily on them. Or perhaps it's the possible dangers. After all, there are risks involved in taking part in innovative medical trials. Additionally, the risks can be intimidating, even when the rewards could change your life. This raises the question of how openly the participants are informed of these hazards. Do we need to give ethical issues more careful thought, particularly in light of cutting-edge technology that is physically invading our brains? It's only 2 weeks late, which is quicker than my mechanic. But really, leaving at the last minute. I hope it's nothing serious and that they're all right. Let's move on to something that seems like it belongs in a science fiction film. Nolan, the first human patient, has had his sophisticated Neuralink brain implant placed, and people are reporting that it is functioning perfectly. With just his thoughts, Nolan can now play video games and browse the web. Amazing, isn't it? But he's not merely joking around. He is working on Neuralink research for 8 hours every day, accumulating 69 hours of brain-computer interface time per week. That's commitment. There are folks who struggle with the touchscreen on their phones alone, and 69 hours a week is more than my work week. Bravo, Nolan. Let's examine Neuralink's most recent engineering achievements in more detail. They have been diligently improving their brain-computer interface by carefully introducing 64 incredibly thin threads into the brain's motor cortex. There are 16 electrode sensors on each of these threads. If you do the arithmetic, you'll see that 1,024 electrodes are actively interacting with the neuronal network in the brain. Imagine that our thoughts, motions, and sensations are controlled by an electrical symphony that is tapped into by over 1,000 tiny connections. However, the number of connections is not the only factor. Neuralink recently made a major advancement in stabilizing these electrodes. Here, stability is essential. Without it, reliable data flow and security may be jeopardized. They have also been improving their software algorithms in addition to this mechanical stability. This is a significant improvement that increases the precision and efficiency of these electrodes' communication with computer systems, not only a small adjustment. What does this signify? More seamless, dependable, and quick brain-computer communication, opening the door to applications we could only imagine. Imagine conversing without using words or using gadgets with ease using your thoughts. That's absurd. Additionally, the first devices will be rather simple. They will focus on helping those who have lost the link between their brain and body to function again. Imagine, for example, that Stephen Hawking could speak or interact as quickly as someone with a fully functional body. That would be incredible. Therefore, it is our goal. Our primary use is to help quadriplegics and those who, for whatever reason, have a limited or non-existent connection between their brain and body regain functionality. The restoration of vision would therefore be the second use. Therefore, you can still directly stimulate the neurons in the visual section of the cortex, whether someone has lost their optic nerve or has gone entirely blind, in order to provide the brain with direct vision. Actually, you could see in different wavelengths depending on the cameras you use. I actually watched Star Trek, the Next Generation Asterisk episode. In contrast to what we're used to, the special effects aren't that impressive. However, he has wraparound glasses, which allow him to see in a variety of wavelengths, including infrared and ultraviolet. In fact, you could do that. For example, if you wanted to, you could see radar. In addition to bridging the gap, Neuralink is quickly closing it, bringing us one step closer to a future in which our brains and machines are inseparable. This is the intersection of technology and neuroscience, not science fiction. Most Wi-Fi networks are unable to support more than 1,000 connections without experiencing latency. Figure it out. This is where things become even more complicated. Neuralink had a few problems with the retractability of their electrode threads. The movement of the brain itself and the air spaces between the brain and skull have been identified as the two reasons. Indeed, our brains move by roughly 3 millimeters. They intend to make a few surgical adjustments to address these difficulties. First, controlling CO2 levels during surgery to prevent air pockets and shaping the surface of the skull to ensure that the implants fit securely. However, they are still unsure of how to manage the mobility of the brain during operation. Air pockets and moving brains seem like a job for superglue and duct tape, don't they? I do hope, though, that they manage to solve it without making it into a Frankenstein project. Neuralink is literally getting deeper rather than only playing around. In order to improve connectivity with the brain, they are now expanding the thread depth. How? For a smoother electrode insertion, go for the high areas on the brain's surface and avoid those elusive folds. Additionally, they reduced the number of electrodes per thread from 16 to 8. Why? In fact, it makes neurons easier to reach. People, less is more. By avoiding the folds and aiming for the high spots, they are making it sound like brain landscaping. Sprinkler systems will be installed up there before you realize it. Now fasten your seatbelts and keep your hats on, since Neuralink is not stepping up, but rather advancing its technology. An incredible 3,000 information pathways are being created between the human brain and computers. Imagine if, in order to interact with technology, your thoughts and mental orders are traveling at lightning speed. Not only are we talking about speed, but we're talking about instantaneous. This is a radical change in how humans might engage with machines, not merely an improvement. Fast and next level, quite effective. But hold on, this tech saga is not over yet. The goals of Neuralink go well beyond simply making computer commands and information retrieval faster. They're aiming for some of the most difficult projects that lie ahead. Neuralink wants to work with Tesla's AGS. If you want any changes made, please let me know. Turning around, Tesla is creating a talent pool close to Austin. The emphasis on developing children's abilities, skills for executive functions in Astra's curriculum may be a big lure for Tesla executives thinking about moving. Given how close this school is to Austin, it is very likely that Tesla executives will relocate there. It makes sense to invest in the future generation. This action demonstrates Tesla's strategic and long-term thinking toward its leadership pipeline. Let's now explore a more complicated problem. Discussions over the effect on Tesla's shares have been triggered by Elon Musk's confirmation of a $50 million award for information on Venezuelan President Maduro. Tesla's performance in Germany is being impacted by the decline in German electric vehicle orders brought on by the elimination of subsidies. The removal of SU